So today we're going to be making a cheesy cauliflower recipe. Now this recipe actually comes from the loaded spaghetti squash casserole recipe, but we're going to be substituting cauliflower for the spaghetti squash, and I think it's going to come out really good. So I wanted to just take a few minutes and talk to you because I've had several comments and emails sent to me about the Trim Healthy Mama program, and that some people are just finding that the ingredients are really hard to find. The second thing is that they're finding foods that maybe through the menu program just aren't as appealing to them as what they've been eating. So I want to show you a great hack to help you to either substitute things you don't like or maybe things you don't have on hand. So if you start off Trim Healthy Mama with the Trim Healthy Mama starter book, in the back of the book, after you've read the program, they actually have these cheat sheets. They have an S cheat sheet, they have an email cheat sheet, and they also have, different kinds of things. So example, if you don't like spaghetti squash or you are out of it at your local grocery store, you can actually go to the friendly vegetables section and it will tell you exactly what you can substitute for spaghetti squash. So today I'm going to be substituting cauliflower and it's on my list. So I'm going to go ahead, and when there's things, for example, that I don't have, maybe I'm making a meal and I'm like, oh, I don't have a spaghetti squash today. I kind of look through this list and say, okay, what can I substitute? Do I have any of these on hand so that I can make this meal work? And you know what? Oftentimes I do. And so you'll see me occasionally substituting ingredients, but I always check on the cheat sheet on the back of the starter book. So I hope that's helpful. If that's something that's keeping you from enjoying these really good meal and menu plans from Trim Healthy Mama, maybe you'll be able to make that work out in the future. So let's get started. I'm taking this recipe today out of the Trim Healthy Mama cookbook, and this recipe is an S meal. It's called the Loaded Spaghetti Squash Casserole. And like I said, I'm substituting cauliflower for it, so it's going to be really simple. Now, my microwave is on the fritz. I have a built-in microwave and it fell apart the other night. So we're actually not going to be using our Sistema steamer to make our cauliflower. Instead, I'm going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and steam it in the pan. I'm thinking I may actually do this in the Instant Pot. That might actually be a little easier. I think it's going to take a long time to steam a whole head of cauliflower over the stove. So I'm going to use my Instant Pot today. So while that's working, I've also got some chicken, which I shredded up from a rotisserie chicken that my daughter-in-law left at my house after a party Saturday night. And I thought, I actually froze it, and I'm going to use that to make the base of our cauliflower casserole. So all we're going to do is take our cauliflower, set it on a trivet with a cup of water, and I'm going to go ahead and steam this for about 3 minutes. It's a whole cauliflower, so it's going to take a little bit longer, but that's okay. So I don't really buy a lot of rotisserie chickens myself. I just feel like they really don't, cook them enough for me. I just like my chicken cooked until I'm sure there's not any pink. But this worked out okay because I'm going to go ahead and cook this into a casserole. Now I've already shredded this chicken, but I just want it nice and, smaller pieces now that I'm going to be putting it into a casserole. All right, so we've got our chicken all done. That was easy. And I saved the bones to make some broth at a later date. So I saved the whole carcass. So, my thought is if you're going to have something like that, don't throw it away. Use it and enjoy it. All right, so I'm going to start off by adding my 6 tablespoons of melted butter. And to this, I actually added a half a cup of onions. It didn't call for it in the recipe, but I did put this in last time and it was really good. The onions are on our list for substitution vegetables for our, for the S meal. To this, I'm going to add let's see how much. So we have 6 tablespoons of butter. I put in about a half a cup of onions, which I cooked in the butter. Then I'm going to be putting in 2 cups of grated cheddar cheese. Now I'm going to do this after the cauliflower is done, but I'm kind of making up my sauce. So we're going to put in 1 cup of sour cream, or a third less calorie less fat cream cheese or Greek yogurt. So I actually have some non-fat plain Greek yogurt. That's what I'm going to be putting in mine. I would have used sour cream, but we had company all weekend long and I used up my sour cream to make some onion dip. So that's what happened with the sour cream this week. I'm just going to stir this together because the butter is kind of hot. I'm going to be adding a half a cup of heavy cream. And then it said to add salt and pepper to taste. Add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. My whole world changed when I started using the Sours whole black peppercorns. And I put those in my little wooden pepper mill. Oh my gosh, this is like, if you've never had freshly cracked black pepper, I mean, this is the only kind of pepper to have. This stuff is delicious. So I'm gonna link it in my Amazon store if anybody's interested in either one of these. They are just a lifesaver for me. All right, we're just gonna set this aside and we'll add our cheese and chicken just as soon as our cauliflower is ready. The other thing I did was I went and cut some green stems off of my onions, which I'm gonna put on this later tonight. So our cauliflower is steamed perfectly. I'm gonna go ahead and add my chicken. I've got my cauliflower here. I'm gonna do the same thing. Actually, I'm gonna go ahead and get a pan because I did wanna add the cheese, the very last thing. I'm gonna go ahead and start adding my cauliflower to the pan. Now, I don't want the cauliflower mashed up like the cauliflower rice. I'm not interested in that. I want to get chunks of cauliflower. But I am going to probably cut it a little bit smaller than it is right now. So all I'm going to do is take my cauliflower and just kind of break it up a little. It's already been steamed. All right, now we're going to add our chicken to this, our chicken sauce mixture. And all we're going to do now is just mix that together because we want that cheesy, cauliflower chicken bake. This is going to be so delicious and so good. I don't know about you, but these are just such easy meals to make for me. I'll get several meals out of something like this. Now I'm going to put in 2 cups of cheddar cheese. I'm going to put 3/4 of it in and I'm going to save a little bit to put over the top. Now this recipe calls for some bacon. I actually don't use a lot of bacon. I do have some frozen, but I'm going to save that for like a breakfast with the kids. I don't really put it in a lot of my cooked foods. I mean, I do occasionally, but I didn't really want to put it in this today. So I didn't put it in the last one and it was really delicious without it. So if you prefer to put the bacon in though, you're gonna put in a 1/4 of a cup of cooked bacon pieces. All right, we're about done here. Just want to make sure these corners get cheese on them too. You know, cheese is an important part of our repertoire here in flavor. And you can see this makes a perfect 8x8 casserole. Now, if you wanted to have a thinner casserole, you could put it in a larger pan. And then I'm just going to put the rest of my cheese right over the top. So tonight, after the kids leave, I am going to throw this in the oven and I am going to cook it for probably a half an hour. I just want to make sure that I can get this all cooked up and ready for, dinner tonight and I don't have to worry about anything. I'm very busy once the grandkids get here, so this makes my life super easy. So the last thing that I want to do is just prep my green beans. I want to get these all ready for tonight. I'm not sure if I'm going to saute them. I probably will because that'll be the easiest. I was going to make like those green beans in the air fryer. I might do that. We'll see how I feel tonight. I'm always pretty tired after the grandkids leave. So all I do when I prep my green beans, I leave the end on that's got the little tip on it, but I always take the piece off that's at the very end of the stem. This is a really easy process. You can pull them off if you like. I just use a pair I just use a knife, but you can, any way you like to do it. They pop off real easy. If you also want to do it like that, you can do that. So I'm not going to get as many green beans this year because this year I actually planted some scarlet runner beans and they're kind of taking over my whole vines. I don't really know why, but I have lots of them. So I'm going to let those dry out and I'm going to have them as just plain old beans this year. And maybe I'll get 10 pints of beans. I don't know. We'll have to see as the garden grows. We never know. Last year I was just inundated with beans. I couldn't pick enough beans. I had so many. All right, these are all washed and ready to go. So whatever I decide to do tonight with these beans, I'm going to serve this with the casserole. And I'll bring you back tonight after everything's done and cooked so that you can see how the dinner came out. All right, so these are going to go in the fridge just like this. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and just chop up these green onions to put over the top of my, just chop them up and put them over the top of my casserole tonight. So that's the nice part about buying or growing your own onions, is that you always have green onion tops for whatever it is you're growing. Now I have chives too, which I use occasionally for, different things, but I really like these green onion tops. They just make everything taste so good. And they just have a little bit different flavor than like a regular onion that you chop up. But we're gonna have a little bit of both. We'll have the onion in the casserole, and then we'll have these green onion tops to just put on top of our food. So my casserole and my green beans are all done. I thought I'd show you how they came out. So this is my casserole that I made. I ended up sauteing the green beans with some onions and I think they came out really good. I'm gonna go ahead and do my casserole first. It almost looks like a chicken and rice casserole. How interesting. Looks really good. It smells good. My whole house smells good. And this was easy. While I had the kids here, I just threw it in the oven. That's all I did, and it was easy. These are my green beans. I'm gonna put some of those on my plate. I'm gonna leave some of these for my husband, but I do wanna get some of the onions. And then if you remember, I cut these little green onion tops. I'm gonna put a few of those on top of my casserole. All right, I'm gonna give this a try for you and I'll let you know how it came out. So let's give our casserole a try. Wow, that is so good. I'm gonna try a green bean too. Like I said, these are fresh out of the garden. Oh. You don't get those in the store. So thank you for joining me. Another successful Trim Healthy Mama meal. And as you can see, I substituted with what I had on hand and it still qualifies as an S meal on Trim Healthy Mama. So if you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to link a playlist with lots of the Trim Healthy Mama recipes if you're interested in trying it. I'm also going to leave a link for the Trim Healthy Mama starter book and this Trim Healthy Mama cookbook, along with another cookbook I just got a couple weeks ago called Trim Healthy Table. So I hope this was of interest. I hope you enjoyed it, gave you some ideas about how to do your dieting. And give this video a like or a thumbs up, or consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. And if you are, thank you for supporting my channel. And I will see you next time. Bye-bye.